How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be speaking about Arsenal because it has been officially confirmed via the club's website that the players have agreed to take a wage cut. We're also going to be speaking about Paul Merson, who also speaks about Arsenal, and he talks about the current side and the fact that Pep Guardiola could not even manage the current crop of players. And lastly, we're going to be speaking about Newcastle and their proposed takeover. And apparently, they're willing to give Steve Bruce until the end of the season at least.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is Arsenal, and it's the breaking news yesterday evening that they have agreed on a wage cut of 12.5%. We've been talking about this a lot over the last week or so, and I've always said that I will wait until everything is official and then I can really start to speak about it. And it is official. On the club's website, an agreement has been made. Arsenal are the first team in the Premier League to get a wage cut with the players. Now, I've tried saying this to a few people on social media. There is a difference between a wage cut and a deferral. The likes of Southampton have taken a deferral, but that means a cut within wages for a specific period of around about 2 to 3 months. This is an actual wage cut for a minimum 12 months. You know, their wages are going to be cut by 12.5%. And it's a brilliant move, absolutely brilliant. And it's not just the players that are doing it, it's everybody involved. And it's going to help us in the long run. And if Stan does dig deep in his pocket and he does actually put some money available to Mikel Arteta, then we should be all right and we should be able to come out the other side from this. But the Arsenal statement is very, very simple. We are pleased to announce that we have reached a voluntary agreement with our first team players, head coach and core coaching staff to help support the club at this crucial time. The move follows positive and constructive discussions. In these conversations, there has been a clear appreciation of the gravity of the current situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and a strong desire for players and staff to show their backing for the Arsenal family. Reductions of total annual earnings by 12.5% will come into effect this month, with the contractual paperwork being completed in the coming days. If we meet specific targets in the seasons ahead, primarily linked to the success on the pitch, the club will repay the agreed amounts. We will be able to make those payments as hitting these targets, which the players can directly influence, will mean our financial position will be stronger. The agreement is based on the assumption that we will finish the current season and receive the full broadcasting revenues. The resulting savings will help cover some of the financial risks we have this season in relation to our match day and commercial income. We are proud and grateful to our players and our staff for pulling together to support our club, our people and our community in these unprecedented times, which are some of the most challenging we have faced in our history. So very, very straightforward statement. And there was one key part in there which I will, bring up as well. And I've been trying to make this very, very clear to everyone in recent weeks that they still have not, even though an agreement has been put in place, got all the contractual, signed, sealed and delivered and everything else. Because there's a lot that goes into this. It's not a case of just saying, take a wage cut, take this much off my monthly wage or whatever it is. It doesn't work like that. These are multi-million pound contracts and there's going to be some, expensive and, big lawyers involved here to make sure that this all pans out the right way it should. And of course, the players will want to know where that money's going. Is it going to the right places, the right people? So there's a lot involved. So when everyone's jumping the gun and saying, oh, they're not making an agreement and everything else, they are. It just takes time. We are the first Premier League club to take a wage cut. Will another club follow suit? Will players from another team actually take a wage cut? I doubt it. You don't know. Maybe this could be something that kickstarts everyone else. But I'm very, very proud of the players, the staff, management. Even the directors have done it. They've all taken wage cuts and it's all to help the club out. And that's what I like to see. That's what Arsenal's all about. Arsenal family. And that's absolutely brilliant news. And like I said, I will only, go into great detail about this sort of stuff once I know the facts and once I know that it's all genuine and not paper talk. And we now know that this is genuine. So it's a great move and it's great news. And hopefully now everybody can move on from this and we can all just try and deal with this lockdown, deal with the current situation we find ourselves in, and then we can get back to playing football. And the players, they've got a massive incentive now. If the players were feeling a little aggrieved that they do have to do this wage cut, despite the fact that they did it, well, it's very simple. Go and perform on the pitch and you get your money back. You can't get any simpler than that. It's like having a bigger bonus at the end of it all. Because we've been underperforming on the pitch. There's been players that are not playing up to the standards that they should be. So now there's like a little carrot being dangled in front of them. If you're moaning about having your wage cut, well, it's fine. You can have it back. Go get us in the Champions League then. Go out and perform on the pitch. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. And hopefully that is the end of those discussions and we can move on from that. Next piece of news involves Paul Merson, and he's been speaking about the current Arsenal side. And Paul Merson insists that even Pep Guardiola would struggle to turn this Arsenal squad into Premier League title challengers. Will Arsenal be challenging for titles soon? Even if Pep Guardiola was in charge? No, not at the moment. Arsene Wenger used to say all the time it's about the players. And for Arsenal at the moment, it's not a good enough team. Not a good enough squad. I like Mikel Arteta, I really do. And I think he'll do better than the last manager, Unai Emery. But at the same time, to challenge for the title, I think they are a million miles off. Is there room for much optimism? I'm going to say no, to be honest. I don't know any team that has won anything when they can't defend. If you can't defend, you're not going to win anything. It's simple. You can't keep scoring 3 or 4 goals a game to nick a point or two, only just to win a game. So until he tightens that up, they are going to be a million miles off. This is going to be a slow journey back for Arsenal. Now, what I will say on that, and the last piece in particular, is that I think Paul Merson needs to go and look at some statistics. Because Mikel Arteta, since he came in, has actually sorted the defence out. And we're actually defending a lot better. And if anything, it's been a detriment to the strikers because we've been focusing so much on sorting out the defence out that we've not been scoring as many goals as we might do because we're not playing as much expansive free-flowing football. But he wanted to sort the defence out, get a base in place. Now, it's very obvious that in the summer, we are going to be making improvements in that area. Saliba is already going to be coming into the side next season. The talks, like I've been speaking about the last few days with defenders that we're linked with and possibly going for, it's all going to add to the strengthening of our defence. So I think that Paul Merson is way off the mark in that respect because we've been fine, in comparison to when Unai Emery was here and we were conceding, upwards of 20 odd shots a game and stuff. It's so much changed under Mikel Arteta. So I don't agree with that. And I do think there is reason for optimism because he's certainly getting the best out of what he's got. But yeah, I do agree with him in the fact that not even Pep Guardiola would be able to work his magic with the current set of players. And, we need to strengthen. We all know that. But I do have all the trust in Mikel Arteta that he will do the job. And I'm really happy with what he's doing so far. And we just want to get started again, start playing football. And then we can really start to see how much of an improvement we're making. And it'd be nice to see when, Mikel Arteta's got his own players in and he can start to stamp his own mark on Arsenal. That's for sure. But when that will be, we do not know yet. Now, last piece of news involves Newcastle. And of course, we've been speaking over the last few days about their takeover, and that is getting ever closer. And Newcastle boss Steve Bruce is set to be given until the end of the season, at least, to prove he is the right manager to guide the club to European football. The Premier League is in the process of ratifying a proposed £300 million takeover by the club with Amanda Staveley's Saudi-backed consortium, which includes Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Max Allegri, Maurizio Pochettino and former Newcastle boss Rafa Benitez are amongst a number of leading names touted as potential replacements for Bruce, wants to take over passes the relevant mandatory checks in the coming weeks. However, those involved in the takeover have not approached a potential new manager and feel Bruce should be given at least until the end of the season to stake his claim. So yeah, I think that's pretty much standard. I think that they would probably give him till the end of the season just out of their goodwill. It's not really worth changing it now. If we do get the rest of the Premier League up and running, then I think that they would let it go till the end of the season and then they would make changes. We know that Newcastle are not going to make huge, wholesale changes in a certain respect because of the financial fair play. And we see how hard they're coming down on the likes of Man City with that and the rules that they, went and broke. So Newcastle will have to be wary and it will be a building process more than, like what Man City did or Chelsea did back in the day where they just literally throw money at everything. But it's promising times for Newcastle and exciting times. This guy is absolutely ridiculously minted. And he makes Manchester City's owners look like they're broke. Absolutely ridiculous. So exciting times for Newcastle. And I think Steve Bruce, he will be given until the end of the season. But I think that he won't be in a job much longer than that. Rightly or wrongly, but it is what it is. And with the takeover, it was inevitable that it would probably happen anyway. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I'll see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.